what you need. I told you that I love you, make it good for you and me. And I never make a promise that I can keep. That ain't me. Yeah, see, y'all hear that? That ain't me. See, you only learn something like that when you sing for these Kojic choirs and these Baptist choirs. See how I did that? That ain't me. Yes, ma'am, girl. Like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell, become the notification gang, and if you really work with my channel the way y'all say y'all do, please make sure to continue to watch those ads. Any videos to have ads on them, girl, you could just let them play in the background like white noise until you hear my pretty little voice come back up there, and then you could get your gag on. My PayPal and Cash App will be listed down to the description box if you would like to donate to the channel. That way, that is perfectly fine, and I appreciate each and every last individual that has been sprinkling a little on me here and a little on me there. I try my hardest to make sure I thank y'all anytime y'all do that when I get up here. You can also donate to the channel by joining. I have two tiers, a $1.99 a month tier and a recurring payment of $4.99 a month. Whichever one works for you best, it's just fine with me. I also have merchandise that's out, and I'm also starting to do new merch. I have somebody that reached out to me about doing little designs and wants to design some merchandise for me. So you're definitely going to get some new stuff coming up, you know, in the springtime and in the summertime. So definitely look out for those. Girl, a lot of y'all have been haranguing me, asking me if I have seen the Unsung for Dru Hill that came out on the 25th, and I had every intentions on watching it because I am a huge Dru Hill fan, honey. I've been a Dru Hill fan since Dru Hill first came out, baby. Absolutely love Cisco, Nokia, Jazz, and Woody. I love all four of them. But we just gonna get on down to this Unsung, baby. So for those of you all who don't know, Dru Hill was basically made in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where all four of the core members are from. They basically all had the same upbringing, singing in church, honey, going down to church, being in church every damn day. That's how I know they Kojic, Apostolic, Pentecostal, or something. Because it's only churches like that that have you up a girl. Everybody want to call Scientology a cult and starting to believe the same thing about these Kojic churches, honey, because y'all be up in church just like y'all working a 9 to 5, 5 days out the week. They caught the attention of their manager. I can't think of his name right now. Really good looking man. He basically was like, listen, I love what you all are bringing. I love y'all sound. I love how diverse you guys are. I want to do something with this. I want to sign y'all. And basically he had them doing different shows, opening up for different acts in and around Baltimore and the New York area. Like, I had no idea they were once contestants on the Apollo. Then they never said if they won or not. They never said if Sam had to come out on them or not, come dancing and tap dancing up out the audience and and they ain't getting all of that. But I had no idea about that. I had no idea that they once performed for the Apollo before they really became Dru Hill. Woody's mama, she was into church heavily, honey. And she had a huge disdain about her son basically being a part of Dru Hill because of the secular music. She felt like they was singing the devil's music. Shame on her son to be a part of it. But because he was a part of a group that was based in high school, he still snuck out anyway to basically do what he loved doing. And listen, to y'all parents that are such Christians and holy rollers, excuse me, y'all. Hold on. I had to cut that light out, honey, because, you know, I ain't really got no time for no warranted heat signatures around here. Can y'all still see me? Good. A lot of y'all parents need to get up out of that. Y'all really do. Do not stifle your kids' dreams simply because you want to be a holy roller. And that's your judge, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if y'all kids got talent, let them explore their talent, please. Okay? So basically, the group got together. They signed to University Management Group, I believe they were called. And what he would have them do is they would perform for a lot of HBCUs schools, probably for like homecoming and things like that, basically to get their name pretty much out there. And then they got the interest of another guy. I want to say they called him. Girl, I can't think of these people name to save my life. Girl, he Muslim, okay? He was a Muslim man. He was a little light-skinned Muslim man, okay? They basically caught his attention. Who got the attention of Hiram Hicks? And Hiram Hicks was the CEO of Island Records, which is now signed with Def Jam. And they basically put out their first album, which was their self-titled album, basically called Drew Hill. Baby, let me tell you something. I was in such in nostalgia watching the videos for These Are the Times, for Tell Me, Sleeping in My Bed. Baby, let me tell you something. Cisco pulled Elisa Left Eye Lopez was Sleeping in My Bed because he said, I don't want to sing that song. He said, what kind of sucker is sitting up here singing about another man possibly being in his woman's bed? And he said he had to drudge up the hate for that song to really give that song what it was. And the reason why I say he pulled the Lisa Left Eye for y'all little young girls that just don't understand, Lisa Left Eye was dead set against the song Creep. She actually had a verse to the song Creep, but she disdained that song so much, she didn't do it. But if you want to hear her version of Creep, baby, just look up Uncreep. That was the that was the remix of that song called Uncreep, honey, and she was on that one. But I was such in nostalgia watching those videos. Like, it took me back to 95, 96, 97, 98. Like, y'all know I'm an 80s baby through and through, baby. I love the concept of their videos. Their videos had interesting concepts to them that, being a kid, I really didn't understand that back then. Like, for instance, on Sleeping in My Bed, I forgot all about that girl was his Cisco's girlfriend was cheating on him with another female. And baby, he ain't want no parts of it. And Make a Promise. I forgot all about that Jazz girlfriend. Shout out to his girlfriend. She played Myra on Family Matters, and I believe she passed from stomach cancer years ago. Definitely shout out to her and rest in peace to her. It was really good seeing her. I forgot she was in that. And that whole concept was he was really in love with this woman, but she had an abusive father, and he came in just in the nick of time to save her from getting kicked off in her ass by that father. And see, that's what I miss about the 90s. These days, it's all about ass shaking and making a clap in a circle for a real niglet one time, and all of the over sexualized, themes and costumes and dance moves. Back in the 90s, baby, a lot of these videos had a meaning to them. It meant something. Just like the songs. They meant something. And that's why I'm an 80s baby through and through. I lived for it. Basically, y'all, Hiram did what every other shysting ass executive out here do, basically looking out for themselves and looking out less for the talent. And now I see why. See, Hiram, I knew it was a reason why you rubbed me the wrong way when you and your ugly ass wife that you plucked from out the strip club, because see, that's the only thing men like you could see. If you was a real man, you would have been able to pull you a nice, demure, sophisticated, entrepreneur, black queen, but you ended up with the chick from the projects. Basically, because when you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And I'm sorry, Hiram, like, you are the prime example of a slick oil shyster salesman if I have ever seen it. You sat there and got into a whole screaming match with their manager from university media group to the point where the person that you was there with had a gun, you jumping up on the table, grabbing pool sticks, trying to fight their people, and then you got the nerve and the gall to sit up in the interview and say, well, I don't really recall everything that happened in the fight. Yeah, I bet you don't, Hiram. I bet you don't. But basically, they was able, through the courts, they was able to get out of from under shysting ass, thieving ass Hiram Hicks, and they was basically had more control of not only their songs but their videos, which proved to be a good thing, because with their follow-up album, which was Into the Drew, I got that CD as well. They definitely did they did they thing, baby. They did they thing. And let me tell y'all what I love about Cisco. Cisco didn't pull a Beyonce. In his interview, he said something that was very profound, and I always had respect for him, but I got even more respect for him for this right here. He said, I was just one part of the group. Everybody had equal parts of the group. It was never Cisco and Dru Hill. We were always Dru Hill. And I lived for that. I live for that, because so many times when you get up amongst these groups, you always have that core singer, that lead singer that everybody knows, everybody loves, and it's almost like everybody else is pushed to the background. I'm really glad that they did not do that with Dru Hill. Like, yes, he had a lot of the lead vocals, but Jazz had lead vocals. Baby Nokio had a lead vocal. Woody had a lead vocal down to their last album before he decided to quit the group to go solo with a gospel album that ain't nobody know nothing about. He's sitting up here trying to squeeze a gospel album out of Def Jam. And my whole thing is, Woody, you should have been to the likes of people like Dottie Peoples or Fred Hammond or John P. Key or Hezekiah Walker. You know, they would have took you to the places where you could go to do that type of music at. Like, I don't think Def Jam is the place for gospel music, gospel artists, and but I mean, hey, girl, listen. According to what Unsung said, some of these Christians knew who you was, but you know, I'm a Christian. I never knew that you came out solo with a gospel album. I had no idea about that. It's no shade. I just didn't know. The only thing I thought of you was doing was that you pulled Michelle Williams. I heard a word saying, girl, you'll be fine. And you saw what happened to her ass. She had to stop doing what she doing and go back to the group because didn't nobody want to hear no word from her. In that realm. Then they talk about how after that they get into Drew World Order, and that is when we got introduced to, I forgot the boy name, Scola. We got introduced to Scola. Now, see, Scola, it took a while for me to get used to you, and I'm more than sure it took everybody else to get used to you because we're so used to seeing Cisco, Nokio, Jazz, and Woody. 4-part harmony. I remember seeing the I Should Be video, and I said, who is this waterhead boy with the braids? I mean, he cute. Don't get me wrong, he fine as all hell, but who is he and why do they need him? And come to find out, they only asked him to be a part of that because when Dru Hill came back out, Jazz, who was the kind of bigger boy in the group, he had already worked on his solo project and it never came out. And that was why he decided to go back to the group. But they wanted Scola to be a part of it because he was really good friends with Jazz. And the company was worried that he probably would not come back to the group because of the fact that he was working on his solo album that never came into fruition. Woody got really upset because he felt like him and Jazz was being pushed further in the background, and Cisco and Nokio was being pushed further into everything. And which is normally, like I said, that's always the curse of a musical group. You know, when you're a group, that's what always seems to happen, you know. And I think the only reason why he decided to even come back was because he finally had his chance to sing lead on a song, and that was I Should Be. Now, Woody, I had no idea. And baby, that is my song off that album. I had no idea that was even you. And it's no shade. I just had no idea that it was you because I was starting to wonder, well, girl, what is you? Is you a soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, bass, first bass, second alto, second soprano? I didn't know what you was. And then when I saw you in the video and your lips was moving doing the lead vocalist, I said, oh, okay, Woody, I didn't know that was you. He got a voice on him. And I absolutely lived. But of course, that didn't work out. The label dropped them after that album, and I do understand why, because they said they only had one hit, but they had two, because I Love You was one of them, and I lived for that song. I love you, and even though you said that you should leave me, that was my song, baby. And Nokio did the lead verse to that song. I was here for that song, so I don't know why that song didn't peak, because I loved it. I loved the song, and I loved the video, because y'all know I live for Nokio's fine ass. Like, girl, that was the child. Forget everybody else. I was always in the Nokio myself. But the label dropped them from that, and Woody was just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. I'm tired. My feet hurt. I got the gout. People don't know me. They're more interested in y'all. I'm out. And they kept touring. They kept doing small little tours here and there. But Cisco made mention that when each tour, the crowd kept dwindling because it was only three of them up there. Cisco, Nokio, and Jazz. Woody was no longer there. And he felt like that was a direct hit because Woody left the group. So what they did was they had a new guy to replace Woody, whose name was Teo. Teo, baby, you fine as all get up, but I don't know you. They came out with another album called Drew Hill, Independence Day album. I remember seeing that album on Apple Music, but girl, that's white noise in the background. I had no interest in listening to it, trying to find a good song off of it, and there's no shade, but no, I'm all right with that. And then they had to wind up getting two new members after they dropped Teo ass. They end up getting two new members because, girl, Jazz got so damn fat, girl, he couldn't even do the bounce dance on Tell Me. Tell me what you want. Girl, he got so fat, he couldn't even do that, honey. Girl, Cisco said that so what they had to do when they went on tour was they would do all the fast songs and he'd be in the back. And then when they got time to do, what was his song that he did the lead in? Never Make a Promise. That's when he would come out on stage and sing his part because that, you know, that he was the lead on that song. And after that, Jazz said, girl, I'm too fat, I'm too big. Girl, my knees getting weak. I got cellulitis and I got jelly rolls. I can't do that no more. And he went on ahead and left the group. And now they have two new members, Black and Smoke. And if you don't know who Black and Smoke is, they were the members of Player. And if you don't know who Player is, baby, they did Cheers to You for giving me a chance. I'll be your angel, far beyond man. Come on. Ooh, if I had a wish, baby, I wish we would have never ended like this. Cause I can feel your pain. Come on! Like, listen, I'm here for that. I'm here for that because I was here for Player. And granted, they only had one album, and that was Cheers to You. I got that album, and quiet as it's kept, I had no interest in listening to any other song on that one tired ass album but that song. But both of them can sing, and I'm so here for hearing Black, Smoke, Cisco, and Nokio doing an album. And from what I heard of what they were sampling in the studio, I'm living for the harmony. I'm living for the melody. I'm living for the hook. I'm living for the bridge. I'm living for the chorus. When is that coming out, Drew Hill? When is it coming out? Because I cannot wait to get that on my Apple Music. I cannot. But they was dealing with a lot of stuff, y'all. You know, Cisco was talking about, because they brought up his solo career and how it came about. And Cisco felt like, okay, they want me to do a solo album. I would do a solo album in hopes that Woody would just come around and then decide to come back into the group. But in my opinion, Cisco, you came back because, and listen, Unleash the Dragon, baby, you don't know nothing about no ballads until you get Cisco's first album, Unleash the Dragon. That is my top favorite R&B album. I still listen to it to this day. Love it. But I'm starting to believe the only reason why you came back into the group was because Return of the Dragon was a complete flop. Alright. Now I did go out there and get the album because much like Nokia, I wanted Cisco all to myself. Anything dealing with Cisco, I was here for it. But I won't hear for that second album, Cisco. I won't hear for it none at all. And I really think that's the real reason why you decided to come on back home to Drew Hill back in 2002. Now don't try to goop us into thinking that this was all because you wanted Woody to come around. I ain't trying to hear that. But y'all, that's really all that happened. It really wasn't much to it. I loved how it went right into it. They didn't do no big, extravagant, humble beginnings and, you know, my mama had me when I was 7 months pregnant with me and all that extra nonsense. They went straight to when they met, how they became a group, who discovered them, who signed them for real, who gave them their big break. I mean, that's what I love about Unsung. And I really want to hear more. Like, I would love to see a Unsung with Total. I would love to see it Unsung with Lord, who Girl Quiet as It's Kept. I would love to see an Unsung with B2K. To be honest, I would love to see an Unsung with B2K. I want to hear what Chris Stokes got to say for herself, honey. Who else, y'all? Who else y'all want to do an Unsung about? Genuine, if they haven't already. No, they did one with Tevin Campbell already. Who else? Deborah Cox. You know, she ain't done nothing in a minute. She may as well go ahead and get a nasty Unsung episode. Who else, y'all? Who else, girl? I can't think of none right now, child. But y'all, that's really all I got. I ain't got no more to give you. Shout out to Unsung. Shout out to Drew Hill. Can't wait to hear the new records. Can't wait to hear the new album. Y'all drop down in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the Unsung episodes, as all of y'all kept harassing me about watching it. I'm finna get off of here and enjoy my day. Until it's time for Chasing Dallas. Chasing Dallas comes on tonight, honey, 8 o'clock. Don't be late. And I will holler at y'all then, girl. Bye.
I just woke up and I rolled up. I just woke up and I rolled up. And I got my plane ticket. That cush, that be my starter kit.